Hey you, this is me, being too shy to show my face. This is also me going on an experiment. It's not a regular pretty YouTube video. It's kind of an in-between podcast and YouTube, and none of the two, because I'm mostly just rambling. But I thought I'd give it a try since I've spent some time now recording these ramblings, hoping that maybe they speak to some of you, and see where that leads, whether that be you feeling heard, you feeling like someone has a similar thought as yours, you feeling less alone, you feeling called to message me and wanting to talk about the things I'm talking about in person. I'm not a public figure, I have plenty of time. I'm living quite remotely at the moment, so it's also not like I have a crazy social life. Being very naked and vulnerable now and saying that. So if you feel the same, or at least feeling like I'm touching on things that no one else in your friend circle is, let me know. And maybe if I can get over my social anxiety, then I'd be happy to talk. Also, don't take it personally if I don't get back. There's a high chance that I might get cold feet. But maybe that's also something that resonates with you, and we can just start on that together and then see if we can both overcome it. Cool. Alright, now let's dive in. It's very cool to have you here. Now, the landscapes you're seeing here are the geography of my internal journey. Not literally, but they're the landscapes that I did a lot of work on myself, and so yeah, I still call them the landscapes of my inner journey. They're the ones that were around me when I did most of my thinking. And now I'm struggling where to start, because you're certainly, if you've made it this far, first of all, you deserve an award, and also now you're probably very, very strongly wondering what this is all about. So let me try. Where should we begin? I have this longing to find my purpose in life, and I think I have touched upon some useful, precious milestones, but I'm still wondering. This is me, by the way. I'm still wondering on a lot of the things, and I'm coming to the conclusion that in order to make meaning, it's time to make some companions along the way. People who are looking for answers, just like me. People who have gone through some hardship, who have questioned a lot. My original intention for this channel, as you can see in the very small in number previous videos, was to go on a trip, go on a journey. It was
My hope was to create something that is somewhat of a vlog, somewhat of a documentary, and to take you on this trip with me where I go to visit people, make encounters, learn about their passions in life, learn about what drives them, and doing that in a very special place, and that is the south of France. And the first time I went there, I was so overwhelmed, I couldn't really turn it into a documentary where I would interview people. It was really me exploring. And also I wasn't sure yet what this was going to be. I think I didn't really know yet. So I had this idea of speaking to people who know what they're doing in life and find out what drives them. And at that point, I still thought that I knew what I was doing, and I would just be curious. That maybe my purpose was to record these stories and to tell these stories. And I'm still quite fascinated by this, so maybe this is still my original idea after all. But maybe this is now, first of all, me telling my story. And every time I try to tell it, I realize I'm not able to yet. There's still a lot of things that I don't understand, that I haven't figured out, especially things that happened that I haven't fully processed yet, I guess. But doing this now is one puzzle piece of it, so it's me trying another attempt to share a little bit of what I saw in this beautiful south of France without showing the people yet, because as I said, I didn't record any of the encounters. They did leave an imprint on me though, very much so. And yeah, in the meantime, I have realized that apart from me wanting to tell stories, the rest of what I thought I was doing was not so fixed after all. And this is now a completely different time where I figured out a lot. But as it turns out, when you figure out a lot of the things that you were certain about are not so fixed anymore. And so instead of things becoming clearer, a lot of the things that seemed clear became unclear. And so now for the past year, or almost a year and a half of the first video that I put online, my path has made quite some unexpected turns. What has stayed the same though is me being extremely curious and thirsty to meet people and hear their stories. And then through them, more and more also writing mine. What I know so far is that a lot in my life was good, and a lot in my life was working quite well. So I never really went back all the way. I had no reason to revisit my childhood or be like something awful happens and now I don't know what to do. It came very gradually, realizing that what I was doing was strongly linked to my passions, what I cared about, but some of the ways I was doing it or trying to do it were not in alignment with who I really am and what I really need. And so the big classic was me reaching a point where I could no longer keep on doing what I was doing and how I was doing it. Which luckily led me to remember that I'd always longed to live in the south of France, and something inside of me made me believe that I had to wait until I retire to be able to do that. And then reaching the point where I could no longer do what I was doing was a real blessing after all, because it made me realize that maybe I do not have to wait until retirement after all. And so what I did was I spent a couple of months trying to put myself together again and then go on this trip all by myself in a car, driving 1,000 miles and more to this place I had never been in before, but I came across in a book, and then I did some research on it, and then I found out that some very special people live there. And so that's how it all went. And as I said, I did stay very long. I think I said that in one of the other videos. And then I came back. I had to come back to take care of some things, and that was really hard. I was not really ready to take care of things again. So I did take care of those things, but it took my all. And so after that, I went into another deep need for rest. And that is when finally, luckily, I started therapy. I'd wanted to for a while, but I didn't know where to, who. So at this point, big shout out to BetterHelp. My experience has been only positive. And so that's when I started to unravel some more stuff, like some underlying programming that had been working for me most of my life, but I was more and more becoming living proof that not all of it was really serving me. And so for the past year now, I've been digging deeper and trying to understand what it was that wasn't working for me. And also that the things I was doing were very close to what I care about, but not entirely. And now the new challenge is to find out what is. And that is still a quest I am on. I'm starting to realize though that a lot of the things I kept telling myself of why I can't do or I can't go on this quest, and I don't have the time or I don't have the money, were classic good old limiting beliefs. So I liberated myself from those with the great support of some people who believe in me, I do have to say. And so what I'm doing right now is I'm still very much looking for how I can serve, but I'm also realizing that the work I've been doing, not only for the past year, but probably the last 10, 15 years, is slowly coming together to something that might help other people. And I'm becoming a coach. I'm still very much on my own journey. So as you can see in this video, when I'm working with other people, I'm already really, really helpful. When I talk about my own things, I'm not. I'm still very much on a journey. And when I'm doing this video now, it's more of a back-end kind of revelation where I'm openly sharing all the things that I still struggle with, along with some thoughts which I will probably regret sharing in the future, but they are a depiction of where I am right now. They're also a depiction of what I've learned so far, so they are still something that I wish I had a year ago. I wish I had known, or I'm glad I know now. And of course, they're only a current marker, so I will probably, hopefully, regret a lot of what I'm saying right now in the future, because that means that I will have progressed even further. But I thought it's time to share it a little bit, in the hopes that some of you might feel some of it resonates, or some of it makes you feel like you're not alone. Or maybe no one will ever watch this and it will just be a record of where I am at right now for future me to see. After all, I mean, look at this. It brought me right here. Pine trees and rocks, the ocean, the smell of the sea, seagulls and animals, crickets, and a deep connection to what life can be. Not only at the end of the day as a sunset, although that is already so much. Like, just imagine spending a day in a terrible job but ending the day right here. Although I'm far from implying that you should have to endure a meaningless job before ending the day right here. It's quite the opposite. The more you realize what is possible, the less you're willing to spend a life without that purpose and meaning, also in everything you do, in your every waking hour. There is true inspiration in living in a place that is so full of magic, and that is also so full of people who see that magic and are hence also no longer willing to live without that magic. It has been extremely teaching as well, though, to me, that once you know that you can live with such magic, anything is possible. It makes you learn that a lot of the things you believe are necessary are not. It even made me learn that you do not need to live in a place of eternal summer. The reason why I thought I had to live in a place of eternal summer was because I thought I had to live in a state of constant productivity, which is only possible if you live in a place that enables constant productivity. This place of eternal summer is still truly magical to me. But also, it has made me realize that I can live anywhere. I can also live in a place of grey, cold winter if I just set myself free from the thought that I need to hustle in order to earn rest and magic. That I need to override my internal true nature that needs rest in a place that is cold and dark. As soon as I let myself be free and rest and sleep in a period where all nature is sleeping and resting, I realized I'm no longer exhausted and tired or depressed. I'm good, I'm cozy. I celebrate the slowness of the day, the darkness of the day. And that the only opposition that there is the inner critic in my head. And yes, also the voices of the people around me who believe that this is the way it is. And now I still look at this magical eternal summer, and I take it as an inspiration, because making that choice and that magic and not having to hustle to deserve it was the first step for me to learn that I do not need to hustle in order to make myself worthy of rest and magic. I also learned that you can only serve and give from a cup that is overflowing, and a cup that is on constant scarcity, because there has to be a right that needs to be earned to fill that cup, will never bring that cup to a state of overflowing. So I'm now quite ambiguous and torn whether I want to live in a place of eternal summer, or whether I don't even need to, because I give myself permission to not be productive all year round. And this is what I want to leave you with for the remainder of the video. Until next time, have a good week.